guys, so it's been over a month since I've done a video and I feel absolutely terrible because I keep doing this to you guys. I keep taking absences and coming back and telling you guys the same thing, which is pretty much school has brought me down because of all the assignments and the homework, and I literally cannot find the time to spend like an entire day during the weekend filming and dedicating time for YouTube. Just know that you guys have been in my mind for the past month. I kept thinking how I need to do a video, it's just that it was really hard for me to find the time. Over the Christmas break I had to write a small novel as well as a 10-page essay for summatives, so that really put me back. And then January came along, I had exams and final projects. I loved doing this and it really hurt me that I wasn't able to do this and to make a video. So enough with the excuses. I know you guys don't like to hear that very often. As you can tell by the title, or no, now the title is down here, I'm going to be doing my November, December, and then January reads. There's some books I need to talk about and tell you guys that I've read, and just to kind of catch you up on things, I will be talking about those and how I like them, and I will show you guys what I'm currently reading. Alright guys, so starting off with my November reads, like I said, I only read one book, and that was Whispers at Moonrise by C.C. Hunter, and this is the fourth book in the Shadow Fall series. And I've talked about these before and how fun and entertaining and light they are. So if you're looking for a book that has a lot of cool supernatural elements mixed in with romance and friendships and relationships, definitely check it out. It's just a cute, funny, and fun read that I would definitely recommend. I mean, there are 4 books, so if you want to get into a series, definitely check out the first one. It's called Born at Midnight. I found that I really liked the first book, but then I read the other ones and I was really surprised because the other ones were so much better, and I just feel like the series is getting better with each book. I gave this a 4 out of 5 because even though it was still really good, there's always something I find that is lacking in each book. I just felt like some of the plot details were rushed near the end and there wasn't enough time to kind of get fully immersed in the kind of rise in the action within this book. It follows a girl who enters this school and realizes that there's more than meets the eye because all the other students have these cool, awesome abilities, and there's a great love triangle at times, and there's a lot of great friendships and magic and things like that. So definitely check it out. I really like this series and I think you would too. Alright guys, so that was the only book I read in November, like I said. So then December rolled around, I had my Christmas break, so it gave me a little bit more time for reading. I spent my whole entire break writing and in front of my laptop typing away, but I still had some time for reading and I read some great books. I will show them to you and hopefully these will help you out, and if you like them, definitely let me know in the comments. So the first book I read in December was Bitter Blood by Rachel Caine, and this is the 13th book in the Morganville Vampire series, and as you guys might know, or if you're a new subscriber, I love this series. It follows a girl who enters a new town called Morganville, which is located in Texas, and she attends a new university, and basically she meets new people and eventually starts to live with them and becomes roommates with them, and these 3 people are some of her greatest friends by the end of the novel. They have to deal with the fact that Morganville is run by vampires and things lurk at night, and there's always something that's going on in Morganville. There's all these different things that happen in each book that make this series amazing, and the characters are the strongest point in the whole series in my opinion. So yeah, if you guys are interested, definitely check out the first book, which is Glass Houses, and then there's 12 books after that. Definitely check them out because they're fantastic. They are so exciting and I'm hooked basically every single time I start one. They're so captivating. Each book is so unique and different, but it still sticks to the same idea that Rachel Caine started with, and I really appreciate that. I give this a 5 out of 5? Yeah, I gave them a 5 out of 5 because they're just so good and I love them. Alright guys, so the second book I read in December was Even Adam by Michael Grant and Katherine Applegate. And as much as I wanted to like this book, I couldn't really because there's just so many things I disliked about it the more I read of it. The characters were really bland and unrealistic and I found them not really likable. So for me, there's a lot of things that went wrong in this book, and it's kind of disappointing because this book has so much potential. The writing was good and I realized the concept was good. It's just for me, a lot of things were lacking. So I'll tell you what it's about, and if you guys read it, let me know if you liked it, because I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So Even Adam follows a girl named Evening who is in a terrible car accident and she's rushed to the hospital, and it turns out that her leg is totally smashed and broken and really damaged. So basically It's gonna take a long time for her to heal, is what she's thinking in the hospital, but basically her mom comes in, takes her away, and brings her to her research facility. Once she's there and once she's begins healing, things take a totally different turn and her leg looks back to normal and she can walk again, and it looks like she was never in an accident. Her mom's research facility is way beyond its time, and they're doing things within the building that are not your typical practice. There's things behind the scenes that are very surprising. So once evening is there and she begins healing, basically her mother tells her to create the perfect boy. She kind of gives her a project to do because there's this program and this computer within this research building that allows you to create a human. As the book progresses, the focus shifts away from the lab and what's going on and more towards her personal problems and Evening's other weird life problems. I don't know, it didn't really focus on the cool things in this book as much as I would have liked it to. Maybe you guys will like this, but for me it was pretty disappointing. It was okay, it wasn't amazing. I'm kind of glad I read it, but kind of not. Kind of iffy on it, but if you read it, let me know how you liked it. So the third book I read in December was Arise by Tara Hudson, and this is the sequel to Hereafter, which is a really good book. I loved the first one, and for me, I was really hoping that this one would be just as good, and it actually was. There were so many things I remembered from the first book when I read this, and that's because Tara Hudson meshed the first book to the second book seamlessly. I was able to remember everything that happened in the first one. The way she told you what happened in the first one wasn't obvious. It wasn't like, previously this happened and now this is what's happening. And it made it so much easier for me to read this because I was worried that I wasn't going to remember what happened and I was going to be confused. Even though I still really liked this book, I felt it wasn't as good as the first one, so because I compared it to it, I gave it a less rating, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. It still was good though. I just felt like the events and the whole plot wasn't as interesting, and it was kind of different and a little bit confusing than the first one. It was just kind of odd. And for those of you who don't know this series, it follows a girl who's a ghost and she's trapped in the place where she died, and that is by like this river, and she's at this dock. And in the first book, she meets this boy and he's able to see her because she saves his life, and it's that moment where you're about to die but you're saved that gave him the ability to see her. So their relationship blossoms and it brings out this whole element in the book, and there's this other element that's brought into it that makes it really exciting and really action-packed and really cool. So definitely check out the first book if you're interested. If you like ghosts and you like romance, definitely check it out. It's a great combination. So those are all the books I read in December, and now I'm going to show you the one book I read in January, and that was Haven by Kristi Cook. And I had this book on my shelf for the longest time. Like, I look back at my hauls and I must have gotten this book over a year and a half ago. This book sounded like the most typical and just like a really typical teen novel. It sounded really cliche in a way. That's the word I'm looking for, cliche. So basically it follows a girl named Violet who goes to a new boarding school, and she realizes new things and meets a mysterious boy. The more I read, the more I kind of liked it, and then towards the end I just didn't really like it at all because the plot was just so, not weird, but it just didn't go the way I thought it would. There's a lot of twists, and there's one twist in particular that didn't have me really surprised, but it did have me surprised because I'm like, wait, I didn't really think this book would include that, but it did. The different thing about this is that the boarding school turns out to be filled with students who have all one thing in common, is that they have abilities. So Violet has to learn about herself, how she fits in, and how she can live in this school and kind of deal with that. And then there's the boy, and then there's this whole other alternate world that kind of gets intertwined with it. Violet was an okay character. I feel like she wasn't the greatest, not the best. She was okay. There are elements of it that I did enjoy. The ending, not my favorite. The whole pacing and the plot, not my favorite. But the concept and the idea was really cool. I'd recommend it. If you've read it, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I'd love to hear. So that was all the books I read in November, December, and January. So now you guys are all caught up. I'm still on with the same book I started in February, which is pretty disappointing. And that is The Friday Society by Adrienne Kress. And I really like this so far. I'm only a little bit in, like 130 pages in. and I really do like it so far. The characters are really cool. It's a cool concept. We follow the three main characters you see on the cover. One of them is a magician's assistant, one of them is a scientist's assistant, and the third one is a samurai fighter idea. She's kind of like the apprentice to a higher up sort of fighter idea. If you've read it, let me know what you liked of it, because so far I think it's cool, refreshing, and really unique, so I will definitely let you guys know what I think of it in either a review or a monthly reads video. Alright guys, so that's my video. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you for sticking with me and being patient. I think my next video is going to be a book haul because there's some books I've gotten that I really want to show you before I get more books. So I'll do that next so I can slowly get into back into things. So then after that, I promise it will be the top 12 books of 2012, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that. If you have any requests for videos, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them because I'm always looking for new ideas. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!